Laura Gandia.
Yeah, Billboard.
Greg Lapine.
Greg Lapine is going to be assigned to the board this evening in place of John Devereaux, who is absent for this meeting. Okay, first on the agenda, we have case number 2018-05.
We have the applicant Gerard Arsenault, 29 Page Road, Litchfield, New Hampshire, 03052, and he is also the owner. This is a request for a variance from section 310.00 of the zoning ordinance to permit a proposed addition to be built 40 feet from the front property line.
And notice was published at Town Hall as well as the library and in the Hudson Litchfield News. All right, Mr. Arsenault, as I was explaining earlier, you're on. Now all we need to do is address the criteria involved for granting the variance, and we'll ask you some questions as we go along.
Okay.
Got your papers?
Yes.
All right. So you're starting with the variance will not be contrary to the public interest.
Yeah, the proposed addition will not be contrary because addition will match the existing surroundings, meaning the addition itself will come straight out and look more like a home instead of a mobile home from street view. I believe it will be nicer from the street view. And I know I live in a mobile home park, so I think this will make it look much better from the road.
You don't happen to have any photographs?
I do not.
Oh, what do we have here? We have some plans.
Yeah.
Yeah, can you set the stage? What are we looking at? I'm not sure what we're looking at here. This is.
Sure.
I don't know where we are in town or anything.
Page Road.
Okay,
So,
Page Road. Page Road's about 3 miles long, buddy.
Yeah.
yeah. Okay.
So it must be up at
So
the,
Page Road, A Street.
So Page Road, this
I
is
am-
Charles Bancroft? On this
No,
end?
this is 102
102.
up here.
Ah, gotcha.
So this is my home here.
Over in that area.
yeah.
Oh, this is across the street, the rental, Grand Junction Rentals over here?
Nope, Grand
No.
Junction's over here.
Further down.
No,
This
this
is
is
right
down
on
on
Page
Page.
Road. You take a left
Yeah.
onto Page from 102, and you go past the apartments that are here at the Oval.
Yeah.
The new
And
one.
mine is
We approved
right
all
here.
these houses here, split zoning, the ones on the backside. We
Okay.
approved
Right.
all of those.
Okay.
And this is mine here, and this is the addition here that I'm proposing.
What are those other black squares on the
This is a shed. And-
existing?
These are existing buildings here. And
This
the
is-
one that is like crossed is the proposed.
This is the same area or same park where the association came forward and asked for some variances because they were basically, I don't know, doing something with ownership of the property. So they took some land from another guy in order to make things all work.
Yes.
Yes, there were some nice deals with the abutters. Remember that one? It killed
Pilgrim is
through.
right there.
What's that?
Pilgrim Road is right there.
Yes, sir.
Got it,
Yeah.
got it.
And the addition is how big now?
Well, I was proposing 16 by 20, but I think it's 14 by 20 now from the road. It's, back. So coming out from the dwelling would be 14.
Okay. And the spaces to be used for?
Bedroom.
Okay. All right. Any other questions before he continues?
No, I get the stage. I got the
Stage.
lay of the
All
land.
right. So spirit of the ordinance is observed because,
The proposed addition would fit into the existing area, would be more attractive from street than presently stands. And that's an absolute truth. Many of you may have driven by my house quite a few times because Page Road and saw me out there. And the transformation, if you remember what it looked like before I purchased it about 7 years ago, and all the hard work that I've put into it now to make it tasteful from the street from what it once was.
I'm just a little behind. State with that first sentence again. What are you thinking that because the spirit and intent of the ordinance is not observed is not going to be?
The addition would fit into the existing area.
Yeah.
Yeah, would be more attractive from the street than presently stands.
Okay. Okay.
All right, number 3, substantial justice is done because,
The proposed addition cannot be attached to the rear or end due to my leach field is in the rear and access to empty tanks from the end. And I would also pretty much be in my neighbor's bedroom if we went off the end.
is that other building that's just to the
Yes.
right of you? It depends on how you're looking. From Page Road to the right of you. Then you're actually on a corner, right?
I am. It would be the number 33. I'd be in his driveway.
What was that?
He's the
Oh, 33.
30. The
Oh,
33
yeah,
is the one like,
33, yeah.
and the space literally does look just like that from corner to corner. I would literally be peering into his bedroom and be in his driveway. And I really don't want to do that.
Okay. Substantial justice.
He just did that one, but
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
so the values of surrounding properties are not would not be diminished because,
The proposed addition will not affect values adversely. It will benefit the surroundings. Town taxes will also be bolstered.
yeah.
and what's last? Okay, so there's 2 parts. Actually, no, go ahead. Little enforcement of the provisions of the ordinance will result in unnecessary hardship because,
Yeah, I've had my son since he's 12 years old, and I like to give him the bedroom I now have because the bedroom he has used since he's 12 is only 6 feet by 8 feet, and that's about the size of a jail cell. I believe he deserves a little bit better, and now that I'm a bit more established, I'd like to provide that for him at least until the time of which that he decides to move on his own.
okay. Any questions from the board for the applicant before we go into public?
Yes. I know the 5 criteria can be a little tricky
Very,
going through, so
yes.
I'm going to ask you some questions to help give us some more responses to help us make a decision. For the 5th criteria, you need to tell us what makes your property unique, because that's part of, if you read, and I know the language is really hard to understand, but tell me, what about your area or the lot that you have makes it unique from others?
It's one of only 2 of the mobile homes that are on the street view. And, I believe you have one chance to make a first impression, and I think you should really do your best to do it. Especially mobile home parks get a bad name. It's, that's very true in every society. And I'm just trying to make things look better for people who are driving by, who may not even live in the town, who may not go into the park. So basically, only the people who really live there are going to drive in deep into the park. But it's the people who are just driving by that you want to set the tone for.
Right. But I'm still trying to get you to help me understand how that property is unique. So I'll ask you a couple more questions. Okay?
I don't really know.
I know that's what I'm going to
Yeah.
ask, so you can just kind of work with me. So the mobile home park, do you own any of the land? Like this?
No, the land is owned by the co-op.
Right. So there's no boundaries that you have because you're in a mobile home. So
Well,
you,
yes, I have my own lot.
you have your own lot.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Now, but you have that 33 trailer that looks really close.
His lot is behind, and part of the backyard is his lot.
How far off the back of that trailer is your lot line?
From my trailer to
Let's say the end closest to
33.
33.
I would say it's about. I would say it's about 6 or 8 feet. It's
Okay.
they're really close towards the back.
He's got a leach field in the back, you were saying too.
Yeah,
right?
some time ago, my neighbor put an addition on his trailer off the back, which made it like, right next to the corner of mine.
Right.
Which, you're talking about 33 again?
Yes.
Okay.
And now that, if you look at 33, you have, it looks like a little driveway. Then I think, is that a garage right there?
So this map is quite old, actually.
Yeah.
So this garage has since been deleted
Okay.
and is his driveway now.
his driveway
So
now.
yes, the building itself has been taken out and the driveway put in.
Extended to the distance of where the garage used to be.
Yes.
And your driveway, is that in the front right off of Page Road?
My driveway sits where the 55 is.
Yep.
That's where my driveway comes in, right up
Okay.
in front of the building, the larger building to the left.
And on here, I don't see the 50-foot front setback. Is there a line on here that's supposed to be
Is it the
delineating
dotted
that?
line, maybe?
I don't think
No.
that is. It's because you're seeking relief from the 50-foot front setback.
Right. I
So
think
do you know where that 50-foot?
No, so his
line-
building,
I think it's-
his house is
Well,
already
that's what I'm
encroaching.
trying to figure out.
Yeah.
it's,
But I don't know that.
see, well, if you're looking straight on from Page Road, the left-hand corner of the building, I believe the line that goes through all the way, which came with my map,
The
would,
solid
I
line?
think it would be, yes. But the triangulation shows that even though my trailer here, if you look at mobile home number 1,
Mhm.
it's extremely close to the road.
Well, that's what I'm trying to
Yeah,
figure out. And this might help with your uniqueness of what's going on.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm trying to figure out where that 50-foot front setback actually is. I mean, if your trailer looks like it could be, and I'm not sure.
yeah, it would,
Approaching
it,
right into the 50-foot front setback.
if you see over here, it says 55 to the corner of that building.
Yeah.
If you come forward, probably almost to the very corner of the front is 50
Okay.
of the 32.
Yep.
So my deck, the small piece that comes off,
Mhm.
is actually close to the road there.
Yeah, it's actually inside the 50-foot.
Right.
So just the deck would
Right.
be inside the 50-foot.
Hmm. Something that way.
Because he's saying like this is 55 to here, but then he just said this corner.
Right.
How wide is
It's-
your mobile home, sir?
It's 12 feet.
So it's
Right
12
from this
feet, so
corner
it
Yeah.
approaches
Yeah.
it by
To
7
the-
50 feet?
It's about 50 feet. to
That
this
makes
corner.
the whole width of the
approaches it
trailer
by
5
7
feet.
as it is.
So how many feet would you say that is?
Well, he just,
Yeah,
so
no,
he
I
said
follow
this is
it.
55.
So how can
The
that,
scale's wrong.
But-
yeah.
Mobile
can I
home is
ask-
12 feet
Sure.
wide.
I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So the
I'm sorry.
55-foot indicator goes to the front,
45.
the
This would be 40.
left-hand corner of that box, which was you said a garage or something?
It's a shed.
Just shed.
Yes.
And you're saying the front corner of the trailer closest to the number 55 is 50 feet away? Does that make the trailer
No,
5 feet?
it's closer because of the if you can see, the angle,
Gotta be
the way
much
that
closer
the
to
trailer
50.
was set in, when they first were put in,
Well, how wide's the trailer?
12 feet.
12.
So it's, and is
This
is
is
the
30.
is the shed
See this? Looks like-
situated behind the trailer?
So you see that?
So it's 12 feet difference.
right.
So it's 55
So-
minus 12,
All from here.
it's 38 feet from to the street.
Well, it's actually
Yep.
more to the
Corner
corner
of
of
the
the
bedroom.
trailer.
To that would be 35.
It's in about 7 feet, huh? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's from the front of this building to the front of the dwelling, I would say it would be about, I want to say about 15 feet,
Actually.
because the trailer is 12 and it's probably 3 feet from the back corner to where the front of the shed line would be.
So you have the road edge, then 5 feet,
Mhm.
and then 55 feet from there to the corner of
Oh.
the building. So you're 60 feet
Oh.
from here. to
How old is the,
That
when was
line right there?
this trailer park,
there.
I
Because
mean, the
it's the
trailer
5
put
foot
in?
setback.
What year?
I'm going to say close as I can think, like 68.
Yeah, that's the easement.
So then here,
I think that was before we had all these ordinances.
so is it?
Yeah.
do we-
Right.
Well, that's some of what came up in the last
It is, definitely.
application where they were looking to do what they were doing with these lots.
But
clean
no,
them
but
up
that, because
somewhat.
that's,
I think the park has
They were all
been
predated.
active since 65, I believe.
So what were you guys thinking? What did you conclude?
Hey, guess what? I
Well, I'm
found you.
thinking
Because I can't tell exactly where.
Oh, you
I
did?
was relying
Oh,
on,
that's good.
he
All right.
thinks that the whole front, the
Sounds
trailer
like
is
you're doing it.
already encroaching.
All right,
So you
That's
go
what I'm
to the-
assuming
like,
too.
it's about 43 feet off of the road, that whole front corner.
So let me ask you this, because you are asking for proposed business to be 40 feet from the front property line.
It comes to about
Like 50
around 10 or 11 feet
That you're encroaching.
that I'm encroaching.
And
yes.
you're sure of that? You worked with somebody? an
I've taken
engineer?
measurements myself, and with the tilt of the trailer shows that the front corner comes just about to where the front corner of the addition would be.
Mhm.
So
'Cause it's like,
it's around 10 or 11 feet.
that's interesting.
it's
too.
right there.
That's Another unique situation too.
And what I'm thinking is,
Is that the house?
I'm not sure, but I think I've driven by this before. Is there a,
Al, there's
Yeah.
a picture. I have a picture of it right here.
Yeah, looks like it.
Can I see that real quick?
You've been by it a million times. Well, no, he
Oh, I
lives-
have. When I
He
lived
lives
on
like
Cutler.
Cutler, so maybe he doesn't go down there. So
I'm done on Cutler.
and what I'm thinking is that when that was probably first done, there may have been like.
There's no
40 foot
carport there
front
though, right?
setback that
No, there was
was
not.
Predates the
Okay.
zoning.
That
That's
that
why they were
predates
bringing up all these
long
lots.
before I
I don't think there was any
Purchase.
setbacks, Laura.
because there's
think it
a
was
lot
in
less
there.
trees. Everything is open now, and
I know you think it might not have been his own.
You should
It
ask
wasn't.
Well,
Yes.
what's the first,
19.
2009?
So this
Recodified
is
87,
1986.
this is
I did- we had it-
86,
we had it
yeah.
before then.
addition,
Yeah,
this
obviously.
Yeah.
grayed out area here,
Yeah,
and that's where you're gonna put that.
correct.
Okay.
And he said he adjusted it from 16 to 14
Oh, no, it's
feet
adopted
out.
in 1957.
to about 14.
So on this map, it says 35 feet.
Yeah, I know, but I took another. It averages out to about 39 when I cut it out. But it all depends, which corner it's measured from too.
Oh, sure.
Just
but
because of the tilt and the way the
Yeah.
trailer
We're
is.
only worried about the closest
Yeah.
one.
So again, the addition is how big?
It'll be 14 by 20 finished.
That's good size.
It's better than what he's in now.
And so I don't, you said your driveway was where again?
Great.
Directly in front, where it says 55, it comes
Oh,
straight
right
in
there.
off the
That's
road,
okay.
right there. It's,
Wow, there's not
I think
much
that's
room
what this
up in the
cutout
back.
is over here, but it actually comes in,
More than an angle.
yeah, well, straighter in at the unit.
Where's the leach field is behind the property or in front?
Yeah, you see where 33, 32, and 14 are?
Mhm.
That whole backyard is a major leach field right there for 6 mobile homes, I believe.
And your sewer clean out is where at the corner of 32 and between 32 and 33 or?
Right, you see where the corner of 33 and the corner of 32 abut?
Yep.
It's just to the inside of that.
Okay.
Now he's looking at
Yeah, you couldn't
36.
put it there.
This is only on 14 feet, right? Is that what it was?
Yeah, he said 39.
Doing some math.
Can I go ahead and ask questions?
Please.
Did you see this?
Pictures, yeah.
Because here we go.
That's the addition, right?
Yes,
14 feet out,
yes,
20 feet across.
yes.
The dimension from that corner to the street was 35, but now that it's 14, is it changed?
Yes, because I had
What is it?
originally measured it
What is
at
it?
16
That
out.
was the old
So
sheds.
it turns out to be about 37,
There you go.
38 feet.
Which is it?
It's
It's going to be
It's
written up
right-
for you, and
okay,
you're
so-
going to be held to it, so
yeah,
pick one.
So
Yeah.
37,
37.
just to buy myself an
So-
extra foot in case.
Well, so that, it's 37 and 14 feet?
6 feet from the back line.
Right.
Okay,
51.
that's
Oh, yeah.
51 feet, right?
So
So
6
that's,
feet,
that's
so-
why you kind of have to
This
know
is
the
Right.
dimensions here, because it's
So
going to
it's
become a
not even-
legal.
Well, somebody can challenge it,
It's
yeah.
not even-
After you're done, somebody can challenge it and say, hey, you only asked for 13.
Yeah, like I
and
say,
you're
first
14,
time
you
I've
know.
ever done anything like
Yeah,
this.
yeah.
So.
I think every
Um,
one of these mobile
So
homes,
you really need to know
Old.
they're all-
what you're going to build
Yeah.
and what the
Old
result
stuff, not the
is,
new.
Right.
because that's the variant. The difference is the variance that you, well, and where the property line is in relationship to the two,
Yeah.
because that becomes the legal document.
Yep.
We can't get
Good.
So the
Yeah,
property
confident
line
is what he's asking for.
is
So,
all the way to the street
the ordinance is
and
3.
to A Street,
Do you?
Okay, so
all the
how-
way around here.
So how many, so is this to the property line or the street, or the edge of the street?
That's the edge of the street.
Yeah, it's the new one.
Where's the
It's
property
crazy.
line?
Oh, this is
Property
the
line
old-
goes all the
Start
way to
some,
the
you
street.
start at
Oh, okay, so it's the
800,
same
then you gotta
thing.
go to
Yes.
310.
14 foot,
Oh, you got the-
37 feet to the street.
Lot lines for the lot, we don't really,
Okay.
I'm saying it's kind of like, I don't even see where it would be.
Okay,
Yeah, I
all
know.
right, that's the dimensional piece.
And then, what does it go
So
up
we're
like
going to
that?
agree on that, right?
Yes,
Yeah, I don't know.
and I'm gonna remeasure too.
Then this is all not in the
So,
setback either.
you know,
because
this
he
is
said you
a-
only have 6 feet.
So,
Was it-
want to write down, just so we're consistent or not?
You know what I mean? So he doesn't even have the
So
right.
it's 14 by 20 and
I'm gonna
37
say
to
the
the
parks
street.
have their
this
own
is junk,
different.
get rid of it.
Yeah,
That's
that's
what I'm
what I
trying
was-
to get at from him.
14 by 20 and
I don't-
37 to the street. So we're all looking at the
Yeah.
same picture.
Yes,
So,
30,
As
so
far
it's
as-
really 37 to the street.
as far as the town goes,
He did this measurement.
For the trailer
it was actually
park.
16
Yep.
by 20.
do they,
No,
you know,
14
you
by
have your
20.
little piece of
20.
property, is
Yeah.
that, you have a deed for that, or?
No, that's owned by, we now own our own mobile home park,
Yeah,
so it's all part of a co-op
owned
now.
by
all
the
right, so,
association.
now, as far as the town goes, how do they tax you?
The only
They
tax them-
they tax my building, and then they tax the property.
So they
All the
tax you
buildings and then the property.
Yes.
Separately, right?
Each individual gets a tax bill for their building,
Mhm.
and then the board receives a tax bill for the property.
The association.
Yes,
So this is kind of,
And they charge you that in association fees.
correct.
Got it.
so,
There's no
you know,
lot
how
line.
can you have all these,
I don't think they, yeah, I think what we're looking at is the front right away, basically
That's
is.
it, 'cause
It's
there's no
kinda-
setback.
this isn't-
Exactly. He probably wouldn't even need it if he could go backwards.
this isn't really your standard residential
No, it's
home
not. No.
as such, it's kind of a.
Well, is the, okay, so the addition
Mhm.
becomes, so that would be an add to your property tax
Yes,
and a decrease of the associate, because that's no longer land, that's
No,
that's
that's-
now,
They count your land at
they
your house.
would,
Oh,
yeah.
well, they actually count all the land under our homes too.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
You're being
Yeah.
taxed for that, your basement.
Yeah,
Just like, I hope just like.
just because you can't see it, it don't mean it ain't there.
We'd all be
Wait a
building
minute,
big,
you
big
can't do
houses if we got away with that. I got one big flat house, it'd be a pancake house.
So when you, I'm just curious now, when you build this addition, I'm not familiar with trailer homes.
Sure.
Okay? Are you putting a foundation or is it just sitting on pads
It's
or what?
it's going to be on pillars.
Okay,
It's going to on tubes.
okay. So it's considered permanent.
Oh yes,
Is the trailer considered permanent?
it is now. It's been there since '68.
No,
Good point.
but
No wheels on
I-
it.
I'm gonna just say this, okay, guys. So I own 2 trailers.
Yeah.
And in my association, they're not considered permanent because they have wheels on them.
Yeah,
Right, mine does not anymore.
Yeah. I stay in a trailer and.
there's gonna be a.
But it doesn't mean that it could not be. Correct.
Yes, and.
Right.
And back when the trailer parks in this town were first incorporated.
Yeah.
I believe when you bought your trailer, you also registered it
as a vehicle.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Florida.
My.
did that.
So I want to, that's what we're trying to get from you. We're trying to see, okay, what's unique? And those are the unique things that back then they were probably there
I see.
and not there anymore. And
Right.
the lot lines and everything in these trailer parks,
Oh,
just so
this
you
is-
know,
Yeah.
they're terrible. They really are. If you think this one's bad, let's just hope that no one ever comes from Horseshoe.
Oh, my God.
Because Horseshoe Drive, half the trailers actually sit on the land that belongs to the rental store.
Yeah.
Rental
Oh,
store.
the other one, I want to.
See,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
why we had to make a purchase from Aria
Yes.
because of that. Yeah, we had to make things right
Yeah.
instead of going through and, pulling the mobile homes in or out or
Right,
yeah.
right. I remember that.
Yeah,
too.
because
Yeah.
I think that when these were put in, a gentleman owned them, Gerd Laudian owned them in town, and he made a mess out of a lot of the trailer parks.
We don't have to.
I
dig
think
up
about
those.
the time I
Ghosts.
came around, it was
Yeah.
owned by, Teddy Sue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
What did the building department say? How do they deny this? Such that we.
I was told, it said, I can't give it to you because of setback. You have to,
Do we
you
have
have
it?
to approach the board.
I don't like this.
Wait a minute, so did the building inspector send us a letter that says you are denied and this is why?
No, he was aware of, where I lived and the property and everything. And, he had told me I'm going to have to go for a variance.
He has to
Because
deny
it was
first.
encroaching.
Yes, he has
It
to
was-
produce the
It
document
was,
that
it
we
was
varied.
denied. Yeah, no, he did. He looked at it and gave it right back. And, Kevin, yeah,
All right, we have
We have
it's
it,
written
we have
on the
it
application.
denied.
yeah.
Town setbacks are not met. Required town setbacks are not met. Front setback to road and not the required distance for zoning must be 50 feet. Need legal line something for location by surveyor. So need a legal line survey. So he's saying that he needs a survey. We don't
Yeah,
have
see,
a survey.
Again, this is a legal
No, but we can
document. It
still
becomes
move
part of your
forward.
plot.
Give
Right.
them one
And if
on-
it's not
in order to be able to
correct,
build.
it's illegal.
This is like
Right. I understand.
So,
Yes.
so we don't have the legal dimensions to
We
vary
can't
for you.
grant it because we don't know what we're granting.
We just have your word for it.
Well,
All
if
the
you
stakes
go to
are still out.
We don't have a certified
If
plot
it-
plan to say, these are the dimensions
but
that
I
will
think-
go on with this property
Okay.
for the next 1,000 years. Right? That's what he's saying.
Well, we have,
We don't have it.
no, I understand.
Yeah, you may have it. We don't have it.
And I think that was what he's saying.
We could have gotten it for you,
Yeah.
because it was all part of the.
Well, that's what,
previous
but that's what he
Kevin said
said.
this,
That's
huh?
that's what was written apparently, right?
Need legal line survey for location by surveyor.
And that would give him the exact dimension to say, this property is off by this much,
So,
which gives you the ability then to come to us and say, I need this much of a variance. It's math. This is arithmetic, right?
Yeah, I just thought the existing building in relation to the road is
We don't have.
my
anything-
setback.
You have nothing to say that. Well, yeah, but no, the initial building, it's the new building that gets the variance, not the existing building. The
Right.
existing building exists, right? It's
That's
what
not-
you're proposing that is too close to the road by how much
Right.
is the issue.
Well, I know when I did my addition, I didn't have to provide a certified plot plan in order to be able to
Yeah.
get my application approved. I had to come here and get a variance, but I didn't have to actually have a certified plot plan in order to get my thing approved.
But you also had a denial from Kevin?
Yeah.
For a specific point, for a
Yeah,
specific
exactly.
amount. We don't have that.
Well,
No, he doesn't say the dimension.
Because I don't think he can,
Right,
yeah,
because we don't have.
but
right.
if the applicant's asking for a specific amount, I mean, he's taking the risk that it either works for what he's trying to build or it doesn't, right?
Yep, right. I would say so.
does,
That's just a,
does the association have a plot plan for each trailer?
No, a plot plan for the property.
But
this is kind of a
And-
crazy.
I mean,
is,
it does,
It's like
And then I have
all
one
these
more question,
houses.
and then I'm gonna leave this one alone. So on your drawing right here, you have Page Road.
Yes.
You have the road, the edge of road.
Yes.
Then you have, I believe, You're measuring off your 5-foot setback.
Well, he was saying that edge of road is the same as the property line.
It is. There's nothing, my lot is the whole frontage up to the road.
I understand that. But there's pins here. There's like, it looks like pins that are in the plot on your plan, but they don't go to the edge of the road.
Which pins do you refer to?
I gotta just-
On the corner here, where A Street is? In here?
So, yeah, these look like lot pins.
Yes. It's actually this far from the road edge.
Okay, now
It's
the.
right where
are they granite
the
markers
pole
or
is.
are they?
They are granite, yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, it's right next to the telephone pole.
Side 50 feet.
What are you thinking?
I'm just looking at this. Just doesn't make sense to me. I'm assuming that it's goes
301?
on 310.
You're looking at 310, the table?
Yeah, it says residential single-family home, and you've got to apply all of these things. None of that stuff applies to him.
No.
He doesn't have 150 feet of frontage. He doesn't have the 50 feet from the street.
Yeah.
He doesn't have side setbacks of 20 feet, and he's not on an acre of land.
That's correct.
So,
That
And
makes
all
the
that stuff
property
is all
unique.
grandfathered. All that stuff. What he's trying to do is add an addition, and because he's trying to add an addition, he now has to conform to the regs. And in this case, the one reg that he doesn't conform to is the frontage, the front right-of-way setback.
so I guess we can't have
So he's seeking relief from that.
so we can't have trailer parks in Litchfield at all anymore under the new regs.
You can't.
I don't know if that's the case.
No, no,
I
I'm
mean,
just
there is-
saying.
there
from
is
going
high density
after
stuff.
This, you can't.
It's common land.
Yeah,
I don't think there's individual lot lines for it. I mean, it's on there and they must have like a limited common area right around, I'm assuming, depending on what the association documents say. But I think the whole land is owned by one person.
You know,
I understand that.
or an association.
I'm
The association, yes.
I'm just thinking going forward from here, you couldn't build anymore.
It's possible.
No.
Unless you fit into those regs.
That's
Right.
1 acre of
Right.
land reach. Okay,
No,
anyway.
No, that's not right. Because you can do condominium associations too. and
Right.
Stuff.
High density, there's
Right,
rules
so
for the high
there's,
density.
there's stuff that would
Yeah,
apply
they
to
have-
that. But I think
they
you
have
can
that in
off
here.
track too.
Have that in-
Well, is that the unique, the simple fact that
It's a
this is
trailer
a trailer
park,
park makes it unique?
very unique.
An old trailer park.
If you want to.
Okay, hang on one second.
That could be an argument.
It's one argument.
Here's a good argument. How many trailers are in your association?
33,
How many acres of land does your association own?
6.
So how many mobile homes are there per an acre?
5
There you go. So,
point something.
so it's
That's
less than a
unique.
quarter of an acre.
Yeah.
Less than a quarter of an acre per lot. So
So,
nothing
so
conforms.
I get, this is the uniqueness of it, because it doesn't fit any of these things that are.
Adding the addition that you're adding doesn't necessarily make it look like your trailer is now going to be that much larger than, say, unit 17, for example. Looks about the same, unit 5,
15.
Yes, because mine is one of the older
15.
homes, it's only 12 by 50, and most of them now are 14 by 70.
So adding your addition kind of brings it up to some of the sizes, or the size closer to existing units or
Still a bit smaller,
Homes
but
in
yes, yes.
We're like on 17 where there's that bump out. Is that a trailer bump out or is that an
That's
addition?
that's like a
Press the
it's a
button.
porch.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Is it a porch on piers or is a porch built into the trailer?
it's a porch added to the trailer on pillars.
Like yours is going to be.
Exactly. Yes.
can we also agree, based on this drawing of the map, it is a map anyways.
Yeah.
Granted, we're missing some actual measurements here, but it clearly looks to me like unit number 1 is closer to the road
Oh,
than the
absolutely.
proposed addition that he's asking for on his unit number 32. We've
That's
got
cor-
an
that would be
existing whole
correct.
trailer
Well, see, that's what
That's closer to the road than the
accurate
addition.
dimensions would show you.
I know that, but
Right.
I'm just looking at it and just,
The whole trailer is within the buffer and
yeah,
and then you have a
right.
you have an outhouse or an outbuilding, I'm sorry, an outbuilding, sorry,
Building.
Yeah.
that is even further into the setback. So,
Back to me.
That's the water supply.
yeah,
No, that's
It's still-
actually, he's talking about
Yeah,
unit
you're
one.
right. Look at
You
that.
want on the
still an
corner.
outbuilding,
It's in the
shed,
it's
isn't it?
closer to
Yeah.
the road.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's number one right there.
Yeah.
Well, this is certainly. the
That's unit number one right
trailer
there,
park
yeah.
that was- not-
Okay, so this,
And then here's the addition we're putting on right out there. So unit number one should end up sitting pretty much
maybe even closer
closer.
than the proposed addition.
Yeah,
And then the outbuilding's even
But the road
closer.
curves too, so
it does. You see that?
it could be,
Well, not according to the
See.
street, not in that dimension.
but not the way the road is, but doesn't mean that's not where the actual property line is.
Let me come back from that.
I'm gonna ask for some public input.
Yeah.
Do we have any public input? Anybody want to speak and just name and address, please?
John Tardif, representing the board. I live in the co-op and work for it.
The board itself?
Yeah.
Very good. And what was your last name?
Tardif, T-A-R-D-I-F.
Thank you.
Mr. Tardif, what unit do you live in?
I live in 16.
So if anybody else wanted to put on additions, they don't have to,
There actually are some, yeah.
yeah, but they don't have to come to us.
No, they'd have to comply
I
with.
can't
the
say that for
association.
sure.
Yeah, they wouldn't because they're not on a street. They're on the private land is after the street.
Right.
Whereas my home is right on Page
Yeah,
Road.
you're the,
This is
you
why.
and number one are the unique ones.
Yes.
So that's him.
Yeah.
That's unit number one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
you can see that.
think he's got them all covered. The uniqueness.
Yeah.
So we need to,
That's cool.
you need to tell us exactly how much of a setback you want us to give you. You know, whether it's a little bit more than what you actually need, so we can make sure we get
So-
covered, so that nobody's gonna say, oh, you're 5 inches over or something.
I see.
So
Okay, I
because
see I see what you're saying.
Because
Yes.
if we were to grant this
Yeah,
and the next, and then another building inspector comes along and finds that you're not
correct.
correct,
Correct. I understand. So if,
you move it,
no,
you know?
so if I ask for 15 feet, that should be plenty. And I will be sure that my measurements will be,
See, that, the thing is, in my opinion, you need to describe how much you want to build.
He wants to
And
be.
and mathematically, the difference is the variance
right,
from the property line
right,
or from the
Front setback.
front setback.
So the setback's 50 feet, so he's saying he wants to be able to build 50 feet, 15 feet into that setback.
right.
Okay?
But if it ends up being less, then we're on the good side. So
That's
this,
fine,
right?
that's fine.
You know what I mean? And it will be
If
less.
it's gonna be 16,
If
you're in trouble.
if I maximize what I asked for and build in less, which will happen,
Covered, that's no
we're
problem.
going to be covered.
Yes.
And
Yes.
I think the thing that concerns me is that we have nothing to indicate that there's 50 feet. It's, if we're assuming, unless we're assuming that line is the
I
line.
have an idea that's what that is, to tell you the truth.
Yeah, this line is it's 55 actually that comes out this way.
Oh, yeah. We can make something
No,
like that.
Because-
55, it goes to the front corner of the building.
When I
You just said that before.
what's
We
that?
already had this discussion.
55 goes to the front corner of the building. The
Right, the shed, yes.
shed.
But if you follow that line over, it comes all the way to the outside corner of my my home.
Correct. The right. Yeah. Right.
So
Correct. Yeah. The left side of your home.
yes, okay, I'm looking at it upside down. Correct.
So
Yeah.
is it 55 to that line or
Yes.
50 or it can't, it's gonna be 50
It's
feet.
basically saying it's like, well,
It's
I
gonna be
don't
50
know.
from here. If
Yeah.
that's 55, that's 50.
I'm sure that's why they put that
Yeah,
line in
some-
there. Who did it? How old is this map? When was this done?
This map was given to me by the town
That's part of this application.
as part of the application. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, at my request. Yeah.
I have a feeling that's a setback line. That would make sense. If he's saying this is 55 feet. then that-
Well, Kevin came out and measured it himself. Because when he told me he wasn't going to do it, that I would have to acquire a variance.
Line right here.
From there to there is 55.
So
Yes.
There to that line
Really?
is
Yes.
less than 55. Agreed?
that before
From that corner to that
They did
corner
the
is
road work.
55. Your line goes beyond.
Right.
Page Road.
So
that
it's
was the
it's a
5-foot
couple of feet forward up to where
setback. Indeed.
this is.
Because
I don't understand why we can't
I guess
just come
the
to the
question we
conclusion
gotta
what
ask,
the
is
dimension
we're
is
just
from that
hashing this
line.
thing over and over again. Are you guys comfortable
This
voting
line
on
to the
this based
street
on the applicant
is
requesting a
53 feet.
specific number? If yes, good, we can vote.
That's
If
not your
no,
setback then.
then you're gonna deny it, or you're gonna
This
say
is-
no, and
this
you're
is
gonna make a
not my
motion that we
setback,
delay.
Right? My
One or
setback
the
would
other.
come from the street.
Yeah, I think we can do a
out
motion
this
to
way,
continue if we
Right.
are dead set on him getting
So I
a
thought that line was
survey.
drawn in to indicate your
Or
your
we can
front
do
setback,
a motion
which would be 50 feet.
with the
Yeah, when
condition that
Kevin
the
came out
applicant
to measure
provide a
and
new legal line
triangulate,
survey
This
location by the
is the
surveyor if
way he,
required by the building inspector.
he did the
Yeah, you
line
can do that for
I'm
sure.
actually good with that.
to corner
So then,
here.
because.
Oh, from that
Why
corner
don't
to
you just
that
give them the
corner,
15
Yes.
feet?
drew a line.
Yes.
Well, I don't.
Call that
oh,
53.
He
the thing
did,
is-
he's saying if the
That's-
survey,
that's
if the building inspector
approximately what he
wants
said,
the
yeah.
The thing
map,
is,
then he has
we
to
have
write
a-
it, that's all.
We have a denial right here, and
Yeah.
if he's asking for it, I don't feel comfortable ignoring his request.
I get it,
Oh, can I see that?
You want to see what I just learned?
good.
What'd you learn?
If you go, what he's described is that Kevin drew a line from that corner of that shed.
Yeah.
Right? And the front corner of the house, the left corner of the house.
Yes.
Drew a line off the street. He measured that to be 53 feet from the street. That's kind of like the center point of the angled house.
Right.
Right?
Because the way the house is pivoted in,
Yes. Okay. So that line is not the 50-foot
No,
anything.
Okay.
It's a 50-foot Kevin dimension. All right?
to help him determine what he's actually looking for.
he was just trying to help me with measurements.
Yep.
Which I appreciated really
Yeah.
because I
Okay, I see what you, so this is,
That's from.
Kevin's
a
notes
town
originally.
official. Is that, I don't know if that's Kevin's.
building permit application. All right. So now Kevin told you about what his request was here?
about
He says need legal line survey for a location.
he
by-
did not elaborate on that.
You can get a copy of the response.
He did, because that was in the file, as part of his application, unless the building inspector put that in there.
Any other public input? Nope. I have a motion to
I'll
close.
make a
public-
motion to close the public input.
Motions to close public input. Any second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, so public input closed. We're gonna deliberate, talk a little bit. We can still ask questions if we need to. So,
So John, did you get the final figure for how many feet he would be encroaching?
or he would be asking.
We're
for-
gonna
15.
yeah, I'm asking for 15.
If the front lot is,
Nice.
if it's a 50-foot front setback,
He's looking for a 15-foot variance.
We're gonna be under
Leaving-
35.
Leaving 35 foot.
Setback by 15 feet.
I don't
Yeah.
look at the angles here. I mean, if that is what he said he was.
I get it, John.
But we're
If
gonna
he
be
wants to
leaving
make a
it.
request, the question,
So I think our options are obviously to give a blanket granting of it. We can deny it. We can ask for it to be continued to get more information from the building inspector as to whether or not he wants us to get a legal line survey, or we can grant it with the condition that the applicant provide it if required by the building inspector.
all right,
I'd go with that one. That's what I'd go with. And we give him 15 feet into this. front.
Yeah, you can still do the motion, but with the condition.
yeah, it's essentially, it's not approving it carte blanche or carte,
And it's given the building
So that
inspector
can be the,
sheet that
yeah.
he needs to.
You know, you have on the condition or
yeah.
Stipulations.
So we'll put it in
Stipulations.
stipulation.
Yeah, put that as a stipulation.
You want to make the motion?
Of course it is. I will make a motion to grant the applicant's request for a variance from section 310.00 to allow for the construction of an addition to encroach 15 feet into the 50-foot front setback with the condition that the applicant provide a new legal line survey for location of the property lines by a surveyor if requested by the building inspector.
Who is the building inspector?
So we have a very good motion. Do we have a second?
I couldn't repeat that. No way.
I'll second.
Did you write that all down?
I didn't get that. Can you
All
do
right,
that
we have a
again?
second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5-0. So your request is approved up to 15 feet.
Thank you.
You still got to work with the building officer, obviously.
I'm sure he's going to come and inspect as soon as we get underway, right?
Oh,
He
yeah.
has to inspect the sonotubes, then he has to inspect the,
Yeah. All of that
framing,
could
yeah.
just- All of that
Yeah.
could just, however, he may still require this line drawing, basically. I don't know.
A survey.
Especially with Kevin not being here. I know it's Troy that's
spoken
kind of
with-
filling in.
John. John was filling in from Londonderry when I spoke to him on the
Yes,
phone.
there is somebody that had been working as Kevin's backup for a
Okay.
while.
Oh,
He's
he signed this.
kind of retired already.
John something.
So he's not going to be doing it full time. I know that.
Okay.
Yeah, just speak with Donna at the building office. She'll tell you who you'd be working with.
So each step of the way, I'm going to have to talk with Donna to have the inspector come out, correct?
Well, once you get your application approved, because right now your application is denied. So now I'll send out the notice for the approved variance. You go back and say, look, I've got this variance approved. So now what do you want to do with my application? They may still come back and say, okay, but I want a line drawing. And
And I-
because we're approving it with that condition, you have to give them a line drawing.
And what I would suggest is work with your association to go back in their files to see if they have the,
So we are working on that. We're trying to get the plot plan
Right.
that was used for the other variance.
right,
We
just
thought
see-
we were gonna get it once everything was set, but they never sent it to us, so now we're actively.
Oh,
Trying
okay.
to-
Also, they do have a,
When
Well, any documents that would have been submitted as part of the other application will be on file here in the cabinet.
Yeah.
So, I'm sure I could find it somewhere too. I just can't remember what case number it was. Everything here is on file based on map and lot.
Look that up and.
It's all available to the public, so you go to Donna and say, look, I want everything you got on map 20 lot, whatever it is. And they can pull that file and you'll have it.
the map lot.
and if the,
Oh, it's map
building-
5, lot 75, yeah.
And if the building inspector is requiring that, you could get away without doing a full-blown survey. He just needs to know basically where that front property line is.
Oh,
That
yeah.
would reduce cost dramatically too, if that's something that he was going to require of you.
The front property line?
Right, that's what he's trying to figure out, the building inspector, on when he gave you the denial.
Yeah.
He's not sure where that front property line is. So what I'm saying to you is, as part of the condition, we're saying, just to locate that front property line for him, which would not require you to have a whole entire
Oh, I
boundary
see.
survey done of the whole association's property.
So I would just have to show him where the stones are.
Well, he may-
You'd have a surveyor come out and do
Right,
that.
and that's why he said
Surveyor
with the
would come out
survey.
there and give it to you.
Right.
And all he's gonna do is mark your building, not the whole association, unless you hire somebody to do the whole
Right, which
association.
is going to be very
That's your
expensive,
prerogative.
so that's something that you may not want to.
How much is a surveyor just for,
Yeah, that's what.
It's probably on file if that's the case.
Yeah.
It should be, if it was submitted.
Yeah, I believe everything was mapped out, all the units. I also do operations, so it's handy information,
And don't forget, you can't break ground for 30 days in case anybody wants to appeal.
so after the 30 days, do I come down and pay for my permit? I don't know how any of that works.
You can work all of that out with Dawn. I'm not exactly sure exactly.
Okay.
I mean, how Kevin used to do things, how when Kevin's not here, now how
Right.
things are being, I can't really speak, we don't fall under the building department. So
Right.
it's like, I don't know the ins and outs and how they're working it. We get the flags when you get denied. That's when we
Okay,
get
I see.
involved. If somebody
So
wants
after
to-
30 days, talk to Donna and see if
I
anybody,
think you can do it before.
Well, yeah, I would go in there and basically, once I send out the letter of approval, which you should be getting in about a week.
Okay.
It'll contain our decision, notice of decision.
Okay.
Basically saying that. I also email that to the building department at the same time I send them out. So
Right.
Donna will have a copy of it. Troy will have a copy of it. The selectman gets a copy. And you get a hard copy mailed to your home. At that point, you'd have no problem just walking in and saying, look, here's my letter of approval. I want to
Okay.
move forward with my application now. What do I do next?
Okay,
So, I'd say within the next week or so, you should have that paperwork.
okay,
Okay?
okay, great. Thank you very
You
much.
get the ball rolling that way there.
Thank you.
And it'll
I appreciate
point you in the right direction. I think that's it, unless we have any other questions from the board. I have a motion to close.
Just, what's the next cases? Do
I haven't even had a chance to look at them. I just picked them up today.
for two?
2 I have for next month, yeah. I know
hope
one
they-
of them
I
is
hope they pay you
another,
well.
one of them is another side setback, I believe, for a shed, which I have to check on the rules for the sheds. So one's a side setback and I don't know what the other one is.
So you might have overheard Rich talking about how he came to the board to get a variance.
Yeah.
Greg was running the show back then.
Oh, is that right?
I recruited him. So if you're interested,
Yeah.
How's the pay?
Good move.
very good.
That's how you got me too.
Same as our board of directors?
We won't charge you too much.
Same, yeah, same as our board, because I'm on the board there too, so yeah.
You walked in.
I volunteered all my own.
Is it as hard getting help for the board?
Yeah.
As it is for us?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to donate.
Nobody wants to
We
volunteer.
only meet
We've,
once a
we've
month.
all been on the board way past our due dates.
All right, if you guys don't mind, I know we still have somebody recording our session here, so I'd like to have a
I'll make
motion.
a motion to adjourn at 7:53.
We have a motion to adjourn. I have a second.
I'll
Second.
second.
I'll second it. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right.
You're welcome.
I
Now we can
appreciate your
continue the
time.
discussion. We
Yeah.
want to continue, but I don't want to keep him any longer.
All right.
Too. He's probably on the clock.
You don't want to hear all the banter.